Good morning. So it's a new day, so I'm gonna go ahead and finish off the headlight that I was working on last night while my brother runs to the junkyard to pick up the other headlight. And so with that, we should be grabbing the head gasket and throwing it onto the engine. So we should have a complete motor by the end of today. If not, we should be dropping the motor in by today. So here we go. So much cleaner looking. So now we are torquing the head bolts down. These are 14s. We are torquing them in sequence of 25 pounds to 50 pounds, and then the final is 65 pounds. So what you want to do is just torquing in sequence, starting with the middle and work your way out. So here we go. So quick update, we got the timing belt on, got it timed in. We got the mount back on, so now we're just going to grab the covers from down there and then just cover all of this up. So we got the headlight done and sealed up again, as you can see. So after this, we're gonna mount it and then do all the cleaning. So, yep. And hopefully give it back that shine. All right, here's a quick update on the motor. We're almost done. We're just gonna go ahead and lap the valves really quick. And then after that, I think we're putting on the valve cover, throwing that on, and then we should be able to drop it or connect it to the transmission and then drop it into the engine bay. All right, so earlier we had one of these rockers fall off, and that was after we had already tightened down everything. So we were worried. We were really worried. We're like, oh shoot, we're gonna have to take everything back off, redo this whole timing that took us forever to do. And I was like, wait, why don't you just try pushing the valve down and see if we could just slide this piece back into the valve. So he did it. He pushed it down. It went down just enough room for us to slip the rocker right back into place. So, yep, we got lucky that time. We are taking a lunch, breakfast, dinner break. This is our first meal of the day. We're having some lasagna with some spaghetti and garlic bread. So, gonna take that break. You guys, so quick update. We got the motor in. If you guys can see from the time-lapse video, it took us a while, but we started with bolting up that mount, not tying it, just enough to stay in, and then we'll work with this one over here, finessed it in, and then eventually we got those underneath. We're still waiting for new ones, but for now we're using the old ones because those are easy to replace. And then we went ahead and got the back ones mounted on too. So there's actually 4 on this one, and then 2 on the bottom, and then 1 that connects to the back of the transmission. If you guys can see that nut, yeah, that one right there. And then for now, I'm gonna go underneath the car and go ahead and screw down the flex plate onto the torque converter right there, and then get this all covered up. And we should be able to get this 4-wheel drive unit back into there. Right now we got a shirt in there to stop it from leaking transmission fluid everywhere. So once we get that in, we should be sealed up and good to go. And then onto these belts right here, we got the alternator in already. Just need to do the AC and power steering unit, and then put the headers back in. And then last, we will definitely be touching the intake manifold last, and then get all these wirings out of the way too. So yep. All right, so with the wiring loom, don't worry about it. They kind of all just sit where they're supposed to be. So more than likely, if this is sensor close to where they end at, that's where they connect. It's usually the easy part. And then the only thing you don't want to get mixed up is the intake air control valve, or the IAC, whatever. That one, and the I think the manifold temp sensor or whatever. Those two, they connect into each other. Sometimes you can get it backward and they throw you a check engine light, your car run rough, but just make sure you plug those right. And then I went ahead and
did this sensor over here, and I know it's kind of dark, but I'm just basically just buttoning up all these sensors back in, plugging them back in, and just getting the wiring loom and everything connected. As you guys can see, these wires pretty much just all connect to itself. This one is for the distributor that connects right here in a bit. And this is how the back looks. So, of course, these are for the injectors and whatnot. And that's for after you plug in the intake air control valve. I mean, not the intake air control valve, but the intake manifold. So, yeah. All right, so next we are putting in the intake manifold. We got everything on the bottom buttoned up. We got the 4-wheel drive in. And I was freaking out for a second because I couldn't find this bolt for it, but the bolt is actually along with this bracket right here, so that's why it was connected with the bracket. So you basically put the bracket and then the bolt in, and we got those in. Got this one all covered. This one all covered up too. So. We just barely got the axle back in along with the rotors and everything, so those were a pain to do. That side was a lot simpler than this side. This side, we're just barely finishing up on that. And next is going to be the headers. And after the headers, I'm going to throw in the radiator, button all the rest of the loose connection, and then we will fill it up with oil and cool it and get a first startup. So we'll update then. So we're adding oil and coolant right now and automatic transmission fluid. So we just measured the car, and the car is on a level surface, even on the jack stand. So these are one of the smaller jack stands, probably why. And so after we're done adding the automatic transmission, we're already done with the motor oil. We're gonna raise the car up some more, that way we could bleed out the cooling system. So here we go. You guys, so we did not start it, we pushed it out. We still don't know what the end result is, but everything is back together except for the hood and the intake and whatnot. We're still waiting to get a timing gun to get all the adjustment done, but it's about midnight right now and we just barely got this thing done. We're about fired up for the first time. Oh, what the heck? Oh, no, it's an ambulance. All right, go for it. Oh, on the first startup. What? No check engine light. You guys heard that? On the first startup. All right, so now what we're gonna do is flip the car around, and then we're gonna jack it up on the driveway right here and let it run, and then we're gonna bleed out the cooling system that way. So here we go. Here we go. Just got done bleeding the whole unit. He's going to take it on his first drive. So far, that's the gauges. Yes, we're low on gas. So before we did the projector lens for the headlight, you could not even see the road. Even though you had the headlights on, you could not see it. That's just how bad it is. So this is how it looks, and we haven't even did the whole restoration with the headlights either. So how we doing?
Pretty fucking good.
Temperature is still in the same spot where it should be. We got the heater running right now too, so we do have hot air kicking in. Before it did not do this. When it was overheating, we were coming home, we had the heater on blast and just cold air was coming out. So I read online that could be a possibility of low coolant too, but we had filled up the coolant, so it was definitely a head gasket problem at that point, because now we're doing okay. Alright, and then we're about to get on the highway, get up to speed, and see how that performs. So it's just slowly babying it, trying to get up to speed. We're at 60 right now. Where are we at? Like 68 at 3,000 RPM. So we're at 75 right now. Temperature is not climbing, so that is a good thing. No check engine light, which is a good thing also. And the car is a little loud, if you guys can hear it when we're coming up, because the car does have a aftermarket muffler installed on it. So, you know. And that concludes our little highway trip. So far it's good. Alright, so this is the finished product. We just have left to put the intake in, and we are good. Still got to get the timing done, but for now it seems to be running okay. So we just got to go borrow the timing gun from one of my homies, and then once we get that dialed in, we'll throw on the intake and we should be good to go. But for now, everything is good. The lights are leveled. We still have to adjust them, of course, but for now, at least they're leveled and they're good enough to drive at night. So, yep. We are completed. We're done. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate it. Until the next project, take care.